Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Everyday English Podcast, where you learn English through real-life stories. Today, you'll meet Ethan. Ethan lives in New York City. Like millions of New Yorkers, he uses the subway almost every day. Today, he has an important meeting in Manhattan. Will he get there on time? Let's find out. It was Monday morning. The city was already full of energy. Cars filled the streets. People hurried along the sidewalks. Yellow taxis passed every few seconds. Ethan looked out of his apartment window. What a beautiful day, he thought. He grabbed his backpack. Inside, he packed his laptop, his headphones, a notebook, and a bottle of water. He checked his phone. 8:15 a.m. My meeting starts at 9. I should leave now. He locked the apartment door and walked outside. The fresh morning air felt nice. People were everywhere. Some were walking their dogs. Others were buying coffee before work. The streets were busy, but Ethan loved the energy of New York. After a short walk, he arrived at the subway station. He stopped for a moment and looked at the subway map. Downtown, uptown, so many lines. Luckily, he already knew which train he needed. He tapped his MetroCard at the entrance. The gate opened. He walked down the stairs to the platform. Several people were already waiting. Some were reading books. Others were listening to music. A woman was talking on the phone. A man was drinking coffee while checking his emails. Just then, Ethan heard the announcement. The downtown train is arriving in 1 minute. He smiled. Perfect timing. The train arrived. The doors opened. People got off first. Then Ethan stepped inside. He found an empty seat by the window. As the train began moving, he watched the stations pass one after another. New York never seemed to slow down. English. Tip useful transportation vocabulary. Subway station. MetroCard. Train platform. Map. Seat. Get on the train. Get off the train. The train stopped at the next station. More passengers got on. A tourist looked around nervously. He walked over to Ethan. Excuse me. Does this train go to Times Square? Ethan smiled. Yes, it does. You'll need to get off at 42nd Street. Thank you so much. You're welcome. The tourist looked relieved. Sometimes, a simple answer can make someone's day much easier. English. Tip useful questions for public transportation. Does this train go to... Which line should I take? Where should I get off? Is this the right train? How many stops? Thank you. You're welcome. The subway stopped at 42nd Street, Times Square. The doors opened, and Ethan stepped onto the platform. The station was busy. People were walking in every direction. Some were rushing to work. Others were carrying shopping bags or taking pictures. Ethan walked up the stairs. As soon as he reached the street, he smiled. The city looked incredible. Tall buildings stretched into the sky. Bright billboards lit up the streets. Yellow taxis honked as they drove by. Street performers entertained tourists. This city is always full of life, Ethan thought. As he walked toward his office, he heard a familiar voice. Excuse me. He turned around. It was the tourist he had helped on the subway. Hi, the tourist said with a smile. I found Times Square. Thanks again for your help. Ethan smiled. I'm glad you made it. Are you visiting New York? Yes, the tourist replied. It's my first time here. I love this city, but the subway can be a little confusing. Ethan laughed. Don't worry. Even New Yorkers get confused sometimes. They both laughed. English. Tip useful expressions when talking to tourists. Is this your first time here? Are you visiting New York? I'm glad you made it. Don't worry. Enjoy your trip. The tourist looked at his phone. I'm going to Central Park next. Is it far from here? Ethan pointed down the street. Not really. You can walk there in about 20 minutes. Or you can take the subway. It's only 2 stops. Perfect! Thank you so much. My pleasure. Enjoy your trip. You too. They waved goodbye. Ethan continued walking. A few minutes later, he arrived at his office building. His co-worker, Sarah, was waiting in the lobby. Good morning, Ethan. Did you have a good commute? I did, Ethan replied. The subway was busy, but everything went smoothly. Sarah smiled. That's a good start to the day. Together, they walked toward the elevator. As the doors closed, Ethan looked out at the busy streets one last time. Living in New York wasn't always easy. The city was fast. The subway was crowded. The streets were noisy. But every day brought something new. Sometimes it was simply helping a stranger. And that small moment made the city feel a little friendlier. English. Tip useful transportation expressions. How do I get to? Take the subway. Get off at. Transfer to the line. It's within walking distance. It's only 2 stops away. Everything went smoothly. Today's challenge. Imagine you're visiting New York. Answer these questions in English. Have you ever used a subway? Would you like to visit New York? Which city would you like to explore? Write your answers in the comments. Thank you for listening to today's story. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us next time on Everyday English Podcast. Keep learning, keep listening, and remember, every journey is another opportunity to practice your English. See you in the next episode. Goodbye.